St. Francis with us, Amanda and Bob.
Do you want to go or do you want me to?
So Bob came to City Council on Monday, and they are proposing to do a veterans memorial, and they had asked if they could put one in the park over here.
Did we talk about this once before?
I don't think so.
No, that was the
German Heritage.
German Heritage.
Oh, yeah, whatever happened with that? Wow.
So, since the park is county owned, it's just leased by the city, we thought we'd at least come visit with you guys, and we're not 100% on that. We're checking with Greg Kite since it is on the historical registry that we could put something up. The other thought is up at the roadside park, there along the highway where the bathrooms are, putting something up there. Or our third option would be the empty lot to the east of City Hall. But we just thought, if it was a possibility to put it in the park, we wanted to, before we move any further, run it by you guys and see what your thoughts are.
I think that'd be the best place for it here. And you haven't decided on which one yet?
No, but want to get sure permission before we ever make our final decision. So
I think they look pretty nice, huh?
So would it be like this is
Like these would be
that
these
would
would
be
be the
what we
benches,
did,
and then
yeah.
this would be the center part that would have the names on it.
kiosk type thing.
And how many benches you talking?
6.
6?
so that'll all be concrete?
And had a roof on it, or a gazebo kind of like that on the state line.
Oh, there would be a roof on it?
Yeah.
It'd be nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Where kind of are you wanting to place it?
Well, we don't know for sure. That's why we're checking, because as far as that being historical, it's not just the band shelf structure. It's anything
Pretty well in the park.
the native rock, the
Really?
stones, anything that ties it all together. So those pillars, all of that is considered the historical structure or place. So we don't know that.
And that rock wall's part of that structure. That entails a lot of the park there.
So, like, have you figured out where you want to put it yet?
That's what they're just
Yeah.
thinking.
Or
Yeah,
you're
we
just
don't-
thinking about it?
Yeah, we're seeing if it's even feasible, and then the location for it. Like I said, Greg Kite is.
You don't know how big it'll be or
That'd
anything?
be that's 12-foot sides.
12 foot.
Side. It's 24 from point to point.
Okay.
Here, point to point.
I
Pretty
personally,
good area.
Yeah. Well,
24 foot radius or
500, yeah.
diameter.
They're 24, just figure 24 foot square.
I personally would be in favor of it, putting it in there.
Oh, yeah, I have no problem at all. None. Very nice.
Do we need to do a motion or just approval's fine?
Well, they're just asking for permission to pursue it. Basically, just informing the commission that this might be a possibility. But I'm sure that when it's finalized, you'll be coming back and
Yeah, let you know if we're going to do it.
So we don't need a motion?
No, you don't need a motion. They're just advising, and you just need to let them know that you're on board and in support at this point. But then when the final project comes around, that's when the motions will come into play. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with it.
Well, you can have what I'm saying.
Should we wait for this one, or?
Andy's here.
Yeah, just a second, I'll find her.
Those are some pretty nice looking benches, huh?
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, how are you guys
We
today?
already
How
dealt
are you
with it.
What's that?
We already dealt with it.
You did, I'm back again. I'm just following up to see if you guys had any questions from when I was in a couple weeks ago for the sponsor or the support letter. I did hear back from our state RCPP coordinator, and I asked him the question, because you guys were concerned about DJ's hours already being counted towards one federal grant, and with this one. So he kind of explained to me what his work is with the NACA grant, and he's more of like a contractor, but we're looking at with the RCPP work, he's going to be more technical. So he doesn't have to go out, drive a contractor around, show them everything. That's on the producer. That's how the RCPP would work, because it's the producer's responsibility to find a contractor. It kind of omits DJ. If a producer calls and says to DJ, I need to know advice for chemicals to spray or what needs to be done, then we could count that. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
How much are you talking in regards to that in kind?
That's your guys' call.
Okay.
So it's however many. I asked the question, I said, can we say like 2 county employees at X amount of hours per X amount of the lifespan of the contract? I mean, it's a 5-year agreement. So whatever figure you guys are comfortable with, because it's work that he's already doing, you're not having to pay him any different. It's work that he's it's part of his job description. So you're not having to reimburse him or supplement his income to match this. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is that when it comes to, like, the landowner goes out and they get the contractor and they get everything done, it's in regards to the chemical part of it, like
It's-
maintaining
It's
that
however,
DJ would be involved in?
yeah, it's however, if a producer contacts him with, hey, do you know a contractor that I could, get a hold of? That counts as a technical side. He's not so much labor where he is with the other federal grants, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So it's more,
We're consulting.
yes, exactly, where he's not having to go out do the work unless somebody hires him to do that. Then the county would get paid for his time, Nathan's time in doing that. Is that a little bit clear? Okay. Then I asked the question that we were concerned about if in-kind, I know DJ asked this, if they don't meet the in-kind requirement. So I said, what if they meet 80% and 20% gets left out? And he goes, that's on the lead partners. That'd be me. So that's my responsibility to make sure it's being met. So it doesn't put you guys in any kind of bind to have to worry about it. And we can always kind of adjust numbers here and there if we need to, but nothing will come back on a partner. It's the lead agency that would take the responsibility for reporting, making
So like
sure
that
everybody-
20%, the county wouldn't have to pay that?
No, yeah, as long as, I said, where's my question here? I did ask it. So I said, this is what I asked. I said, what if they cannot contribute all their in-kind hours throughout the lifespan of the RCPP? This is hypothetical, but what if they put their contribution in their letter that they will support 10 hours per week per employee to work towards the goal of our RCPP proposal and only 80% is reported? What do they do about the missing percentage? And he said contributions made that are utilized for match. This is the second sentence. That doesn't make sense. I'll just read it to you. Contributions made that are utilized for match in a federal grant may only be utilized for one federal grant. The contribution, whether it be in cash or in kind, cannot be counted against 2 federal grants. Each unit of contribution is counted once. I need to check to make sure state grants are actually federal funds delivered through state agency, and we would hold the lead partner responsible for the contribution.
Okay, so that does, I mean, like with our concerns at the last meeting, they were legit in
Right.
that you can't double dip on your in-kind.
It just depends on how the work is being done.
Right.
So if, like I said, technical or consulting wise on our grant is not the same as the labor work that he's doing for the NACA grant.
Right, but when we were here the last time, it was all a matter of in-kind and
Right.
DJ's hours. And
Right.
it wasn't specified in regards to what exactly the work was going to be.
Right.
And that, I mean,
Does
that-
this answer your question?
Yes, it
Okay.
does, because basically, because DJ has several hats that he wears
Exactly.
throughout the day. So for this hat, that's that grant.
Yes.
Because the nature of the work on that grant is different than what the nature
Yes.
of the work on this grant
Yes.
would be. So
So you can think of him
is-
as with the wildlife and parks, it's labor. With ours, it's technical.
But I could be hired
Yes.
by the producer to do resprays in the fall for reoccurring foliage and maintenance of the property, which we would set a price on equipment and labor that is above and beyond where we are now to meet our match. Our
Gotcha.
match.
I was told at one time that we couldn't compete with other contractors. That it was like, why we can't haul dirt or something, but for private parties, that's not the same thing?
No, it's the same thing, because there are private contractors that can go out there and remove these trees. Quite honestly, DJ didn't have the time to do this. He's too busy. It's just out there that, that's,
If he's available to be hired, he can be. It's not a requirement.
No, I would have to put a bid in. I couldn't just take it like to be over competitive. There would have to be a bid to the producer
Yeah.
Okay.
if you're agreeing to this. That's
And like the technical side, it could be some producer just calls him and has a question, and it's a phone call he's going to take regardless. I mean, he's not going to say, "Oh, I can't," hang up on.
so in regards to the status of the grant application, when will the commissioners be advised as to what in-kind needs to be put on there?
My application is due the 30th, and then my understanding is that NRCS will review it and come back to me with any other concerns that they may have. In the letter, I would specify how many hours, and that's your guys' call since you supervise, you're his supervisor, as to how many hours per week, and it's something that can always, I'm assuming, be adjusted each year. Oops, that it could, we need to raise it up or we need to move it back. It's adjusted each year. So it's however you want to start now. I mean, if you want to start small, just to cover your bases,
Well, isn't this, there's so much money, and if you don't get up to that limit, then you just lose it? Is that what?
that I'm not, okay.
Because
So
wasn't there something about, you're eligible up to this much money?
Right.
For
It's a
this
match.
grant. Match. So if you don't, get it, wherever you get is
Right.
what your match is going to be.
Right,
And so you're trying, obviously, to get to that maximum amount.
right.
And so that's why I'm questioning, okay, what is expected of the county? Because DJ still has, the noxious weed and the
Right.
prairie dogs and et cetera
Right.
to take care of. So if it's going to be 20 hours a week.
Oh, no, it's
you know,
however you guys want to set it. That's,
But we need direction from you as to,
well, how many hours do you want? Your job more than any of us.
and most of my work, this work should be completed in the fall.
Okay.
That is how it's worked for the other projects I've done, because in the fall, I do have more space between September through November, December here, where I'm getting into prairie dogs pretty heavy. So I could pencil out some time for that, but it also depends on if I am called and if I am asked to hire for bid. There's no guarantee to that.
Yeah, it's however 5 hours a week. I don't know how many times you take a phone call from somebody asking a question in regards to anything with the project.
well, I think that maybe what needs to transpire is you guys visit in regards to what is or is
Okay.
not feasible.
Okay.
If you could do that.
Yep.
And then, because we have to put it in the letter of
Yes.
support.
Yes.
So, as long as you guys are comfortable with what's being presented in bringing that letter of
Yeah,
support.
well, I do have
Yeah.
a figure already put together that I was gonna discuss with you after she was here.
Well, if you want to go ahead and,
Okay. Well, yes, we should start small to see where this goes the first year. I was thinking of somewhere between $5,000 to $7,500 in kind to get started.
So taking your hourly rate and putting,
Yeah.
okay.
But we're gonna have to discuss what our hourly rates will be per man, machine, equipment, and what you would like to see me do with our equipment, because I have to be careful when we're not on that. I'm a county employee, county taxpayer equipment. private job. We have some things to
That's
discuss
true.
that I'd like to have in an executive session if we could.
That makes sense.
So, I thought we were just talking about technical stuff.
It,
But to meet a very large number of in-kind, I mean, if I charge $40 a phone call, and that happens only once or twice a month, we're never gonna get to reaching a percentage of our in-kind match. That's what my concern.
We have to meet that.
you would have to, like, whatever.
Come very close.
Whatever you set as your contributing factor is what would have to be met throughout the lifespan of the RCPP.
And if it's not met, what happens?
It comes back on me. I'm the lead agency, so I would be responsible for, because the county's not putting any financial does that make sense? Like, you're not putting money into this. You're putting money as in with DJ's technical, like his salary, what he's doing already. So you're not having to you're not going to have to pay anything back because you technically didn't put anything monetarily in.
It is a set number that if I was asked to be hired to do a bid and to respray an area or to help the landowner get advice on what it is, it will take site visits, so there's time involved. And we would hourly work at that wage to meet that numbered goal each year. But it would be money coming back
Yeah,
to my department.
any labor work that he does would be charged the producer for the county to be paid.
Right, and quite honestly, I'm not real comfortable with the contract labor thing because like Willie pointed out,
Yes.
counties are not supposed to
Right, and that
compete,
would
and
be,
especially with the COVID and such, and people looking for jobs and whatnot. I just am not comfortable with that aspect.
and I don't know, is that what you're doing for your NACA grant? So that isn't on my side.
But I'm with also through the KDA and
Right.
with the wildlife, Kansas Department of Wildlife. I fit within that group that isn't really technically a private entity.
Right,
It's still governmental.
right.
Right.
So what are you?
I'm just thinking that DJ as a contractor, that could open a can
That's
of
up to the
worms
producer. I mean, if somebody calls and says, DJ, can you come cut these? You can say no. I mean, you don't have to, at the cost share.
Right, but if there's any sort of discussion in regards to hourly rates and using county property and et cetera and whatnot, the more I think about it, the more I think that's dangerous. Because that's an unfair advantage
Right.
to a private contractor.
Right. So his side to this would be what he's already doing. So it's not. Is that? I mean, I don't know
Right,
how
we
else
aren't
to-
going to create a new position for DJ.
No. Right. It's just counting. It's the goal of the RCPP is to get as many producers that are already doing the work in one scope, one area, instead
Right.
of this group, this group, this group. It just combines everything all together. And for example, like wildlife and parks, we're kind of in the same conversations with them as to how they're going to do their contribution. But they are already counting, like Kevin, the technician, what time and effort he's putting into, research for the trees, whatever. But like you said, the equipment side, the labor side, that's a different contractor.
Right, and I don't even think we should approach that subject.
Yeah,
Because I think that, like I said, as Willie pointed out, there's a difference
Right.
between that and
Right.
the noxious weed department and what he's doing already.
Right.
Because with this type of job, that's creating a new position.
It is.
And I just don't want to, as
I
legal
would-
counsel, I don't feel it's in the commission's best
And-
interest to pursue that.
Yeah,
And
and I'm
especially
totally
when
fine
we're
with
bidding
that
it, right?
because that's
It's a bid process.
that's the, like when you come in and do cost share in our office, it's the landowner's responsibility. Kale and Bernadette and I don't go out and find somebody to rebuild terraces. That's on the landowner to do, to hire and pay it, bring their bills in. Same system with us. So omit DJ from as a contractor. That's perfectly fine. No, I mean, we're not saying that that's illegal. They can go, like I said, a landowner can go do their own work. It doesn't have to be hired out. It's however they want to do it. So in the letter, if you're going to say, just for consulting, for technical side, perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I would leave it at that.
Okay.
So any other?
But we still have to have a dollar amount.
I would right now put in how many hours per week at whatever rate, and that's where you get the dollar amount. So if you want to take, you said you were going to talk.
Do you have to do per week or could you do per month? That way you can stretch those hours over.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I just asked X amount, like 10 hours per week. I just said I know it's hypothetical.
Right.
And I've not seen what other applicants, how they write their, you can probably, I mean, it's reviewed annually, so you can say so many hours annually. I mean, yeah, per week might be a big stretch.
Well, it'd be hard to comply with.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that might be I'll have to randomly call DJ and ask for a question to count him some hours. But yeah, I'm fine with monthly. I mean, it doesn't, and I need to talk to Bernadette and the state RCPP coordinator to see how the reporting's even done. If I do it quarterly, then that might be a way to track hours too. So,
Okay, great.
but yeah, I'll meet with DJ and we'll get some kind of feasible hours, but I am totally fine with leaving him out as a contractor. I mean, that's not necessary for the application anyway, so.
Well, since it's such tough times,
Yeah.
I mean, that's my personal legal opinion.
Any other questions for you guys?
I don't have any, do you, Roger?
Nope. Do you need me to come back before or just?
No, I think basically if you guys want to coordinate and then get that letter of support to me to review,
Okay.
then we can get that presented to the commission at the next meeting.
What day is that?
It's 16th, isn't it?
Okay. Okay,
And
I will
way
do
you'll have
that.
it before your 30th deadline?
Yep, sounds good. Just
right,
let me know if you have
perfect.
any more questions.
All right.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Keep in touch.
Yep.
Would you like to save me for mine? Because mine was discussing numbers.
You can leave that open.
Oh, leave it open?
Yeah.
I got on the agenda today to discuss our numbers and what we were thinking about with this possible contribution into hourly time, which through consulting, it would drop that number very drastically. I don't believe that I would even come close to 50 hours a month, because there's no guarantee that somebody is going to call for this specific need that I'm aware of. And that's where I was concerned with it. I think it's a great deal for our county, a great program for producers and landowners. I just don't know how I can contribute as much as I do to the RCPP as I do with the state wildlife NACA grants for what we're already doing now. I fit more into that scheme, where it is a governmental agencies working on it. And that's just, I wanted to see how you felt about what I need to do, and like I said, she discussed, and we'll get with Danny and I can put numbers forward and just come back next commissioner meeting.
We'll just be in contact with
After
you.
you've had time to talk to her, you're saying?
Yes.
You say 50 hours a month? That almost seems like, because I know that program is it's gonna be up to the landowner to go higher. And the only thing I could see they're gonna ask you is what chemical should I use to spray on the stumps?
Yes,
That'd be it.
exactly.
I don't know what else they would ask you.
No, I agree, because I do have that 1D stump treatment for my,
But there would be follow-up in regards to
Yes.
control and making sure that, it's not coming back in such a fashion.
Yes.
Whereby you would have site inspections, so you would have your mileage, your hours,
Yes.
et cetera.
But I don't
and
know if
then-
that'll be his job.
no, that's what my concern
That'd
was
be-
with her,
that'd
talking
be
to her,
their job.
is that it should be the producer's job. But if I was asked to come out, I'm tipping that line of private work, where I'd have to be a
But you're
contractor.
noxious weed.
Yes.
And no, this would be noxious weeds.
No. That's where my hesitation and concern was,
just
Leslie,
invasive.
that I don't want to overstep.
Basically invasive trees is what. Cedars, Russian olives,
Yeah, and the tamarisk.
tamarack. they're gonna come out and check.
Yes, yeah, I won't be doing any of the site inspections. That will be Kayla and Bernadette. This is
Yeah.
all through their department.
Yep.
But I do believe it is important for us as the commissioners, to make sure that they do a better supporting this action in Cheyenne County, because we do want that money here for our producers. So let me get with her like we discussed, and I'll get back with Leslie or you. If I do have questions, Leslie, I'll email you on to make sure I'm not getting myself into a bind.
Okay, that works.
That's all I have today.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Are you ready?
I understand what he's saying. We're doing private work up there too. Fishing game.
It's totally up to you.
And there's no more governing entity than.
I can't talk with it, so. How's everybody this morning?
I don't even.
Well, how about yourself?
Good.
That is not as much as we.
How you doing?
It's hard to believe
Good
at
to see
this
you.
time of year, you flipped over the calendar and it was November and it's like,
The whole thing
flip
is
it back,
frustrating.
flip it back.
Because they've so clouded that line in regards to, no, this is
Fishing game,
different.
Ducks Unlimited. They're the ones taking care of all that.
Well, it's just, it's that time of year again, it's hard to believe, it just seems to come around so quick anymore.
Yeah, it does.
Of course, the older I get, it's just like, boom, it's here again. The renewal with Blue Cross and Blue Shield came in. We've seen renewals, I've seen renewals all over the board, anywhere from a 4% reduction to, a 56% increase. So with looking at your renewal with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, we have it on that first page there for the high deductible. And it came in at a 5.04%, which is excellent. So very happy with the renewal with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. The medical trend, of course, they're talking that it's based on 11.2% on hospital services, 9.1% on provider services, 10.3% on prescription drugs. And the trends are higher for 2020 and 2021 because they're adding in a COVID. So your renewal is performing better than the industry standards. So that's why you received the 5.04% increase. Now, if you actually look at just now with the two cards where you have the umbrella policy and you have the underlying plan that you've designed for the plan, so if you actually just increase the Blue Cross numbers and keep your reserve funding the same, it comes out to nets out to a 3.83% increase. So it's very well. Down here at the bottom, so with the renewal here, we have the 15 single, 8 employing spouse, 2 employing children, and 18 families. Down here at the bottom is what we had projected in January of 2020. For your employees, you have a $1,000 deductible, and then it covers 80%. They pay 20% to $1,500 out of pocket, so they have a total of $2,500 out of pocket. You still have a $25 primary care office visit copay, which standard in the industry now is $30 to $40. You have a specialist office visit at $50, which standard in the industry now is anywhere from $70 to $90. And then your prescriptions at $10 for generic, $35 for tier 2, and $60 for tier 3. You're running above, this is through October, running 7.46% above what we projected. But with figuring in what you have in reserves, it's coming out to 13.5% under projected.
Am I on the right page? Yeah.
Down here at the bottom. So this is what we projected here at the beginning of January, and this is where you're running. This is the Blue Cross premium. This is all administrative fees and claims paid. And you currently, bank balance in your reserves as of October 31st is $110,213. That's over here at the right-hand side, which is, it's worked just the way that it was designed to. That you're able, instead of that throwaway money, that you write the check for every month for that cookie cutter plan. Here's your rate, here's your plan design, and they take it, that we've done that with the 2-card system, and now you do take it in 2 parts. So you've been able to keep the employee benefits with the low out-of-pocket and able to continue to build reserves. So any questions on the plan or how things are going? Okay. So it's with the, like I said, with netting it down, if with just the 5% increase with Blue Cross and Blue Shield, it actually nets it down to a 3.83% increase. So we could, recommendation would be just to continue this next year, just like that we have this past year. The next page is just the savings report. This is just an aggregate report that we've done, that if you would have bought the cookie cutter plan and paid that premium for the cookie cutter plan, what we've saved you to date, and then what your reserve bank balance is at the end of October, that $110,213. So this is just a monthly recap of what we have. The next is your dental. Of course, your dental is self-funded. And down here at the lower left-hand corner is what your dental rates are, how they're running. The single rate for your dental plan is running $15.21. The family at $56.81. The employee and children at $34.91, and the employee and spouse. If you would go out and buy a fully insured dental plan, you're looking at around $50 for a single rate and anywhere from $140 to $170 for a family rate on the dental. So by self-funding your dental, again, you're paying just for your actual claims, which is keeping your costs down. The next report is just the top benefits. This is where, when those claims come into our office as secondary, where the claims go. Prescriptions are always in the top 3, if not the top benefit, and it is yours. It's over here on the right-hand side in descending order on how we paid the claims. So prescriptions, we've gotten in 303 claims, and we've paid out of reserves a total of $23,538. And then on down the line, hospital emergency room, diagnostic, doctor's office visits, how many claims have come in, and what we paid out down here, a total of $86,144.90 through October. We figured in your final claims run, so that way we could run final reports. So it shows 1031, that you won't have any more check registers. So that way we were able to run reports. The next one is what we paid out in dental. So we've got your dental basic, and how those claims have come in, and that we paid out $17,405.29 in dental claims. The next report is just where we paid the claims. So this looks, looking at the providers, which is nice to see that ServU, Custom Prescriptions, they are our pharmacy business manager that we use if they run those claims through as secondary. So it goes through Blue Cross and Blue Shield as primary, and then it comes through ServU as secondary. But you can see that Cheyenne County Hospital is number 2 on the list. So it's nice to see that people use local providers, that the money's staying in your own community. So that's what the next reports are, just all who we paid the claims to on the medical and the dental. And then again, just we touched on the benefits for your employees, which the benefits that you have here for the employees are good benefits, with the $1,000 deductible, 20% to $1,500. Most plans, and under healthcare reform, the maximum on some plans that employees have out of pocket is $6,350 per person, times 2 per family. So with doing the 2 cards, you've been able to keep that out of pocket low in your office visits and your prescription co-pays. And then a copy of your dental benefits. That's self-funded. Most plans, you have a calendar year maximum of $2,000 payable. Most plans have $1,000 or $1,500. And then the next, as an optional benefit, a voluntary benefit, you have the Vision Care Direct. We did put some other quotes in there from Superior Vision and VSP in addition to the Vision Care Direct. But in doing a provider checkup in this area in western Kansas, the providers, there's more providers in the Vision Care Direct. I know that we had some questions whether the Vision Source, and we did call them, and they are in network with Vision Care Direct.
So I wonder why they're down here, they're telling them they're not.
And actually, Annie, our claims manager, called them, and they said, oh, no, there's no problem, we'll submit it with Vision Care Direct. So we did visit with them down here and hopefully got all their questions answered, but yes, they are in network with Vision Care Direct. So, but we did put some other quotes in there, like I said, with the other VSP and Superior Vision that we utilize, but we actually have some, and it's more in the Colby area. Groups in that area are actually changing from Superior Vision to Vision Care Direct because most of the providers are getting out of network, except with Vision Care Direct. So, questions? We love our job when we can bring in renewals like this. It's that 56% when I haven't delivered yet.
Save that for last.
We're going to do a virtual meeting on that.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good idea.
That's a really good idea.
No, actually, I have it scheduled next week. But yeah, it is so nice, with doing the 2 cards has worked so well. And we have truly appreciated our relationship with you and the employees and being able to do what we can to build that bank reserves and provide that service to you.
Well, and it's like with the Vision, as you were talking about the providers staying with Vision Direct, we went up to Binkelman and there was no question. I mean, it was just like, oh yeah, and they even called me and said, oh, by the way, do you realize you've already had an exam this year, so it's not going to be covered. I mean, they knew everything about it, took care of me. It was fabulous.
Good.
I was really pleased.
Good.
That's great.
So is there something that we haven't provided that you would like to see or something that we're not doing that we should be doing?
That would probably have to,
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Since we switched to Blue Cross Blue Shield, I haven't
Okay.
heard anything from anybody.
Okay, that's a good deal. That's a good thing. And with the renewal coming in where it did and netting it out at the 3.8, recommendation is just to go forward this next year like we have this past year. Haven't seen any abuse on any of the benefits, so really no recommendation to change anything there. The reserve balance is there.
I know what I'd like, but you can't do it.
Well,
It's supplemental for me.
oh, yeah. Yeah. So I mean, with that is just, I guess, getting approval on the renewal, that we just go forward the way that we did, and then we can schedule employee meetings to come in, because everybody will get their individualized packet with all their annual notices that you're required by law to give you, that we take care of that in the packet. Give them the opportunity at open enrollment if they want to make any changes, that this is the time of year to do that prior to January 1. And just roll on over to, it's scary to say, 2021.
Yeah, right.
Well, hopefully it's not as scary as 2020.
There you go. There you
I'm
go.
ready for that to be over.
We were talking the other day, I can remember when we had the big scare of Y2K,
Yes.
And it's like, and here we are, and going into 2021. But yes, hopefully it's going to be a much better year than 2020. All the way
can't get
around.
much worse.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Careful what you
Would
say,
you,
really.
Would
Yeah.
it bother you if we would table this till 10:30?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Terry is not here because he is in quarantine.
Oh, okay,
And we're gonna talk to him on the phone.
okay.
At 10:30, and I'd like to have his approval.
Oh,
which I know he's
absolutely.
gonna. But I think it would look good if all three of
If
us,
you guys don't want to wait, I can just email you.
yeah, we can email. saying,
Okay.
I know it's gonna go through, but
Oh,
Let's just
absolutely, I
let Terry
understand.
vote on it, too.
Oh, I totally understand.
What would you prefer us to do? Wait around, or would you prefer?
It's up to
You
you,
can
because I
email.
can just email you guys and let you know that
Sure.
it was approved. so.
Sure.
I'm not saying we have a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I
No,
totally
that's a
understand, and
logical
and totally
agree with that.
respect that,
And
you know,
if-
doing
He
that.
would be here if he could.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
actually going to ask. So that makes
I
more
mean,
sense.
he's not sick,
Yeah.
but he was just
We
in
just, on the
contact
Blue Cross, we
with
just
some-
need this
Oh, really?
signed
So he's
and
in
dated
quarantine.
and emailed to me, and
Y'all
then
got cases out
You guys
here?
can stay.
Yeah, we're
Wanna
good.
go, that's what I'm
Quite a few.
at 10 there, that's only 20 minutes.
Yeah, my mom lives in Smith
And then that
County,
way
and
if
they
Terry
went
has any
from
questions, we can be
1
here.
to 19,
So,
like within a month or so. So,
I'm sure we're over 19 here.
are you right?
Did I look correctly, like it's 121 here
What's that? I'm sorry.
for numbers? Positive. Can you pull that up real quick?
Do you have one for Terry, or do you want me to use this one for Terry?
we can use that one for Terry.
Yeah. So I'll give this to you guys for Terry, or should I give it to Scott, or?
That'd be fine, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There we go.
And that's for Terry.
And we can just, it's only 20
Sorry
minutes.
about the
so-
inconvenience.
No, not at
Oh,
all.
not at all.
Not at all. And we can, that way if Terry, we can stay.
I
That
think
way
we
if
would-
Terry has any questions, then we're here to answer those questions if he has
Yeah, it's only
questions.
like 15 minutes
Yeah.
or so.
Yeah.
That's better, yeah. We can answer questions, come back in, whatever you need us to do, really. Yeah, for sure.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
You want us just to kind of wait out in the foyer?
Wait here, or-
Yeah, we'll
You're there?
just
Yeah, that sounds great.
sit back here and,
Thank
so
you.
thank you very much.
Well, thank you. See, I told you guys this time I was going to bring in the smart one, so that's what I did. I tell you that every time I come, don't I?
Now we have the transportation grant.
Yeah, we need to wait for Terry.
Oh, we need to wait for
Alright,
Terry.
She's out, handing out.
Well, now
candy
that they've
deliveries.
shut down, I need to request an executive
Oh.
session for non-elected personnel for 5 minutes.
That's okay. We'll just wait out here.
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
I need 5 minutes, you said?
Yeah.
Need a motion for 5 minutes of executive session for non-elected personnel. I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.